What's up, guys? I'm out in nature. You can probably hear the birds chirping, and this is what I do to just feel so amazing. I want to share my knowledge and I want to share my wisdom. Today, I want to talk to you about how to cure your mental limitations, right? And I don't like to call them mental illnesses. I don't like to call them mental diseases because really they are just limitations. And you're going to see exactly why they are called mental limitations, and that's all that they actually are for you by the end of this video. So if you have any mental limitations in your mind, any diseases, any illnesses, I'm going to show you how to cure them without big pharma drugs and without any therapy, okay? This is my therapy. I'm out in here and I'm sharing this good ass energy. So breathe in and buckle in for the video. Alright guys, so just so you can relate to me and see how I actually know a little bit about some transformation, I want to share with you my story briefly, and I want to keep it concise and to the point so you can understand how you can become the greatest version of yourself right after this video. Okay, so since I was in grade school, since I was in elementary, I was someone that was always seeking attention. So I was what you would call a class clown. I was rambunctious, and if there was a subject in school I didn't like, I would just interrupt the class the whole time, right? That's how I was. I had this thing about me where I just wanted to get everyone's attention, right? And then going into high school, I was not able to focus on things I did not like focusing on. Those subjects, which I didn't like English, right? I didn't like French, so I really wouldn't focus, and instead I would interrupt the class. I'd be the class clown, and I would seek attentions from others, right? I would be that kid that if you were journaling and you were keeping to yourself, I was the one that was so annoying and you just wanted out of the classroom, right? So one day my careers teacher walks up to me and she's like, stay after class, like you're in trouble and I need to talk to you. She gives me in trouble. She says, you can't be doing this. You're taking away from other people's education, right? And she said, I think you should go to the doctor because I think you might have ADD, attention deficit disorder. I was like, okay, I could see how that could be. I can't really focus on things, and even in a conversation, sometimes I blank out, right? So I went to the doctor. She diagnosed me with ADD, and she tried to prescribe me some pills, which I wanted to take, but thankfully, my mother would not let me take. But I went, and I was so angry at my mom. Like, Mom, I need these pills. I have ADD, is what I thought back in grade 10, right? So I couldn't get a hold of the pills, right? I thought I had ADD. I wasn't focusing on anything, right? And it also led to some other side effects. Like, now that I thought I couldn't focus on anything, I thought I wasn't like everyone else. That led to some depression, right? Some things I didn't like to feel, right? And how I decided to numb that up 2 years later was by doing prescription drugs, right? Not prescribed to me. I just wanted to get high as a kite, okay? And doing those things made me feel so low, made me feel so isolated in myself, and made me feel like I was not worth anything. I thought that I had to smoke weed. I thought I had to do prescription medication, right? I didn't think I was worthy of anyone's approval, so I just kept on going deeper and deeper into my own personal rabbit hole. I thought I had all these problems, and at the time I really did, right? And then I found this out. I went through a spiritual awakening, totally changed my identity, changed everything. Okay, I started loving life. I started finding grace and simplicity, and I was so grateful for everything that I have. And now I'm at this point where I'm making YouTube videos every day. I'm loving what I do for a living. I'm so sorry for that pause. I'm not making them every day. Twice a week right now, right? I'm helping people. That's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm really just chill. I'm enjoying it. I'm able to focus at it in moments notice, and I cured my ADD, I cured my addiction, my anxiety, right? Some days it comes up, but I do this, what I'm about to tell you, and it completely changes my day. It completely affects how much I'm loving everything, letting everything in, and letting everything go. And what I did was I changed the meaning of everything that I thought I was. I changed the meaning. I let go of what I didn't want it to be, and I changed what I was telling myself in my head, right? So realize this. If you have mental limitations, you are telling yourself something in your head every day, right? And you, your soul, it wants to be fulfilled. Your true self wants to be happy. But when you're telling yourself things like, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I can't focus, and I'm depressed, I don't have the happy chemical in my brain. When you're telling yourself that stuff, that's who you start to believe that you are. And the more and more you repeat it, the more and more that's who you become you are. Think of it, right? So if you're working out those muscles, more repetitions, the muscle gets bigger, right? Well, the brain's a little different, right? Because instead of just getting bigger or smaller, right, it has different patterns. And whatever you're reinforcing is what you are becoming. And trust me, you have control of it. This is how I regained control of what I told myself. I changed the meaning of my ADD. Instead of saying I was able to focus, I'm not like everyone else, I decided to say, yes, I don't have ADD. Okay, yes, I don't have ADD. Actually, I just have all these amazing ideas. I'm very creative and I'm able to snap into any state I want at any time, right? Instead of having a scatterbrain of thoughts all the time, I'm able to catch myself when I am unfocused, and I am able to find something that I'm creative and passionate about and put my energy into that. And I love that. I'm grateful for that ability. It's all in the affirmations of what you're telling yourself, right? I know a couple people with depression, and I've talked to them. And what they all seem to say, because that's what depression clinically is, your brain does not produce the serotonin, your brain does not produce the dopamine. People say their brains do not produce the happy chemical. And while they do not, it is impossible for your brain to produce the happy chemical when you are telling yourself you can't produce the happy chemical. Imagine your subconscious mind, right? Imagine your mind, and it's just doing anything that you tell it to do, right? And you control your brain. Your brain does not always have to control you. You can control your brain, but if you are always saying, I am unfocused, right? I am worried about this, and all of my brain cannot produce a happy chemical, even if you truly want to produce a happy chemical, if you're telling yourself that you cannot produce it, you cannot receive it. Your brain responds to what you tell it every single day. If you're always doing the same things, if you're always telling yourself the same things, and if you're always believing the same things, you will always do the same things. You will always act the same way. You'll always feel the same way. You'll always believe the same beliefs. But where the real transformation and the cure comes is when you tell yourself a new story, right? Because your ego is like, let's just say there's Johnny. Johnny was depressed, anxious, and had ADHD, right? So Johnny thinks that he's not like everyone else. Johnny thinks that he is not worthy of happiness. Johnny thinks, right? And that's not him, that's his ego. So if he wants to go out and feel happiness, Johnny's ego has been so hardwired to believe, Johnny, you are not enough, right? It's like a little whisper in your ear, the ego. It's not actually you. If there's Johnny, there's what his true potential is, but his biggest limitation is his ego, and his ego is what he has programmed himself to be through years of repetition, right? Say someone told Johnny something at the age of 5. He liked to sing, and his mom said, shut up, you suck at singing, just because she was frustrated. At 12, that may come up as anxiety in public speaking, which could lead to depression, right? So it may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility to realize you are not that story, right? So you have to go in. We have to look at Johnny's ego, and we have to switch it up, because the ego will always be there, but you can have a healthier ego, right? Now, honestly, the best thing to do is just push that ego aside and truly realize who you are. But you can make that ego go away and create a new story. So there's Johnny, right? One day, he's walking around telling himself he's not enough, and these thoughts repeat every single day. He wakes up, immediately as his feet touch the floor, he says to himself, I'm not enough, I hate myself, I don't look great, and life is just hard for me, right? Well, one day he's walking down the street. He doesn't know where to go, so he goes out into nature. He's been walking for 2 hours, and he has this realization that when he was singing as a 5-year-old to his mother, the only reason his mom reacted the way that she did is because his voice was so powerful. And in that moment, he realized he is powerful. Other people may not like that because they do not have personal power. From that day forward, instead of telling himself that he does not produce a happy chemical, he tells himself he is grateful, he has more than enough, and his brain is regenerating, okay? Change the meaning, change what you tell yourself, change your life. If your brain does not produce the happy chemical, just know that it can start producing it again, because the brain is another muscle. The more that you re-emphasize those patterns, the more that you can feel that emotion. Why do you think that you can remember something when you study it a lot? It's because you are reinforcing these patterns in your brain. Likewise, if you reinforce affirmations like I am grateful, I am enough, I am whole, I am complete, I am joy, I am bliss, then you will keep on getting more of that because you are rewiring your brain. But if you tell yourself your brain doesn't produce a happy chemical, and moreover, if a doctor told you that and you believe it, if you believe your brain doesn't produce a happy chemical, if you believe you cannot focus, you're doomed for life. But a belief is literally just a story that you keep on telling yourself over and over and over again, right? So change the meaning of your story, right? Change what you tell yourself all the time. What I cannot stress enough, and I don't mean to sound repetitive, but if you keep on telling yourself you can't produce a happy chemical and you believe it, you have absolutely zero chance, all right, of believing you can receive the happy chemical. Instead, what you want to be doing is start believing that you are healing. Start believing in the healing of the universe, right? Put your love out to there. You get what you give, right? Okay, so last thing I want to tell you is this is something that you have to be consistent with and dedicated to every day, but it doesn't have to be hard. It can be really easy. Just remember, keep on telling yourself what you want to become. Imagine yourself living that life where you are grateful, you are abundant, and everything comes to you easily, right? Imagine that and start being that. Start feeling that right now. You can do it. Don't tell me you can't do it, okay? You only can't do it because you believe that you can't do it. But a belief, again, I can't stress this enough, is just a story, right? How do you think someone like Elon Musk, who was diagnosed with Asperger's, created Tesla, right? He changed his belief of Asperger's. Elon Musk, search it up, actually has a form of autism, right? But he created the Tesla Motor Company, right? Creating electric motors. He changed the meaning of his autism to not be a hindrance, but an advantage over him, okay? Change your beliefs, change your story, change your life, right? Keep on telling yourself what you want to become. The moment you tell yourself you can't do something, that's when you create a limitation. And that is exactly why I do not call it a mental dis-ease, even though it is dis-ease. It may be an illness, right? But illnesses, sometimes are self-created. But moreover, it's a mental limitation more than it is anything, because if you have a mental illness, you are limiting yourself by a subconscious belief. You need to meditate. You need to come out here and you need to start telling yourself what you want to become. Okay, at first it's going to feel forceful, but it becomes a natural part of who you are. I went from somewhere where I am not enough. Then I said, today is getting better than it was yesterday, and that felt forced. then I actually saw my life getting better. Now I say I'm getting better and better every day, and some days I feel an 8 or 9 out of 10, and I'm just saying I already am the greatest version of myself, right? Tell yourself exactly and be clear about who you want to become. Be consistent with this. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to tell yourself that you love yourself. Okay, guys? So, if you want to hear more information like this, I do a lot of videos about personal transformation. Also, messages that are going to end up brightening your day and help you become happier and the best version of yourself. Right? If you want to hear more creative ideas that you might have never thought before, consider subscribing, okay? Because I'm actually very spiritual, but I decide to condense the knowledge that I know so it can sound more practical to you, right? If you are not too into the esoteric, right? So, peace out, namaste. Like this if you want to spread this message, because then YouTube knows to share it to more people. My name is Thomas Infante. Until the next time, keep on telling yourself what you want to become and believing it.